Finally, we are discussing the Sony A7V, a camera that many of you have been anticipating for a long time. Indeed, nothing official has been announced yet, but the information that is starting to come together points to the possibility that this camera may arrive in late October or early November. Since Sony has pushed the A7 IV cycle as far as it can, that timing feels appropriate. To be honest, many of us believed that the time would come in the middle of 2025, but it seems that demand for existing models, supply chain challenges, and tariffs have delayed it. The key question at this point is what we can reasonably anticipate. Now let's begin. Let's start with the build. From what's been circulating, the A7V isn't aiming to reinvent the line. Instead, it may lean into being a thoughtful evolution, which actually makes sense. The A7 series has always been that sweet spot for hybrid shooters, and Sony knows they can't alienate that crowd. The build is said to be more robust with dual card slots supporting both CF Express, Type A, and SD. That makes it flexible. You can run high-speed cards for video work and still rely on your cheaper SDS for casual shooting or backups. On the usability side, we might see a higher resolution EVF, which would be welcome. If you've been on the A7V, you know the EVF did its job, but in long sessions, especially outdoors or in critical focus situations, it could feel limiting. If Sony brings a sharper panel here, it'll make the experience feel closer to their higher-end bodies like the A1. Now, this is where things start to sound exciting. The A7V is expected to carry a new 44-megapixel BS-ICMOS sensor, not stacked, but backed with a dedicated AI chip, and that matters. You're looking at more resolution compared to the A7V's 33 megapixels, which should give still shooters a nice bump in detail without going into medium format territory. But what's more interesting is how Sony might balance it. Triple base ISO values have been mentioned: 800, 4000, and 25600, which sounds like a dream for anyone working in Log 3, Log 2, or HLG. That means better flexibility in both low light and controlled studio setups. If you've worked with log profiles before, you know how a proper base ISO structure changes the way you expose and grade footage. One of the standout notes is burst speed, 20 frames per mechanical raw. That's double what we had on the A7V, and while it won't be in A93 territory, it does push the A7 line deeper into sports and wildlife territory. Pair that with the rumored 8-stop IBIS and the new AI autofocus system, and you've got a camera that could feel like a serious all-rounder. Think about it. On the A7V, real-time tracking already did wonders, but adding a driven body and face recognition might take reliability a step further for portrait shooters, wedding work, even street. This could cut down the margin of missed shots. Video is where many of us are curious. The word is we might get 6K at 30p, maybe even a cropped 8K mode, though that part feels less certain. More realistically, 6K oversampled 4K would already put this body in a comfortable place. It would outpace the A7V's 4K 60, and it would stand its ground against something like the Canon R6 Mark II or the Nikon Z63. And let's be honest, if you've been on an A7S III or FX3, you're not switching for the A7V's video alone. But for hybrid creators who bounce between stills and clips, the extra resolution plus advanced log support could be exactly what makes it versatile. When we think about where this body fits, it helps to look at what's around it. The A7V launched at $2,499, and the A7V is expected somewhere closer to $2,799, maybe $3,000. Not cheap, but not out of reach compared to what Canon and Nikon are offering right now. Take Nikon's latest CR series. People have been impressed with its articulating display and fresh video features. Sony risks losing ground if the A7V doesn't feel like a real step up. On the Canon side, the R6 Mark II is already a favorite for hybrid shooters with fast readout and solid 4K. So, Sony knows they need to deliver enough here to keep the A7 series relevant for at least another cycle. And let's not forget Sony's own A1 and A93. those are still ahead in stacked sensor performance and burst speeds, which means the A75 has to carve its space as the balance point. More resolution than the A74, better speed than before, but not encroaching on flagship territory. At the end of the day, specs matter less than how they come together in use. A 44-megapixel sensor sounds great, but it also means bigger files, so you'll need to think about workflow. Do you already have storage set up for that? And while 20 FPS sounds fast, it's only helpful if the buffer and card speeds keep up. That's where CF Express comes into play, though those cards don't come cheap. For videographers, the triple base ISO could be a huge deal. Imagine walking into a wedding reception, dim lights, tricky colors, and being able to rely on cleaner footage straight out of camera. For landscape photographers, the detail bump means more crop flexibility without losing sharpness. And for everyday creators, the improved autofocus means fewer missed moments, plain and simple. Now, let's talk about what we want to see. What we are hoping for isn't just bigger specs. It's the small fixes that make a real difference. Rolling shutter is the first one. On the A7 IV, it was hard to ignore. So, even a quicker readout here would make movement look a lot cleaner. Then there's the menus. Switching between stills and video can still feel clunky. So, if Sony brings the smoother setup we've seen on the A1 or FX line, that would help a lot. Heat is another one. Long shoots on the A74 could push it. So, better cooling would make this camera more dependable. And of course, color. Sony has been getting better, but we'd love to see richer skin tones and softer highlights straight out of camera. That's the kind of thing that makes you want to shoot more and edit less. We also have to talk about why this camera took so long. Sony reportedly had this lined up earlier in the year, but tariffs and production bottlenecks changed the roadmap. That's why we saw other models like the FX2 and RX1 R3 drop, even though those were mostly reworked with existing tech. In contrast, the A75 feels like Sony wanted to make sure the rollout was smooth because they know this body will sell in high numbers. So, where does that leave us? The Sony A7V might not break new ground in the way some people hope, but it could bring together enough refinement to feel like the natural upgrade many of you have been waiting for. More resolution, stronger video pipeline, faster bursts, smarter autofocus, and better ergonomics. If you're shooting on an A7 III, this could feel like a huge step forward. If you're on an A7 IV, it'll depend on your needs. Do you want more resolution and stronger video? Then it might be worth the jump. If not, the A74 is still plenty capable. Either way, what we are looking at here is an evolution that could give Sony another solid run in the hybrid market, and that's why we are paying close attention to it. So, that's everything we have for now. We'd love to hear what you think about the A75. So, drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more camera news and reviews.